हरि बोल विशाल प्रभु जय।
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you for joining. Okay, we'll start from 15. Yes, Prabhu. Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Kira Vanachari Kira Vanachari Yamuna Kira Vanachari Yamuna Kira Jaya Radha Madhava Indra Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Indra Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jai Shri Radhe Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jai Shri Radhe Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jaya Mahaprabhu, 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 Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Deva, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो शिवाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय वितले श्रीमते भक्तिदान स्वामी नामे नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन यजन्तस्तभद्राणि विभूति स्वशताम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्रुति भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी start. Yeah. First of all, I want to thank people who are on the Zoom calls. Viral Prabhu, Kona Prabhu, and Vishnu. Thank you for joining. And also, thank you, Kotugan Prabhu and Jash Prabhu for being in person. Yeah, yesterday I heard that you all completed first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, it is amazing. I was just surprised uh, to see that consistency is the ornament of devotional service. We need to be consistent. Consistently, we have been doing. You all have been doing Bhagavatam. We completed first canto. In fact, when I was speaking, I was realizing in Chapati they used to do the same thing, one verse. They completed entire Srimad Bhagavatam. I think in span of like 10-15 years, and now they have started again. So sometimes people ask, when will Bhagavatam get over? It's not about getting over. It's just relishing it. And when I saw the 2.1.1, first thing I didn't know the verse, but first thing that struck me was they will be talking something about hearing, for sure. There's a common theme in entire Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will either speak about hearing or Arjuna will ask a question. Here also we see Shukadeva Goswami glorifying the process of hearing. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha Varyanesh te prashnam Krito loka hitam ripa Atmavid sammata pumsam Atmavid sammata pumsam Shotavya yah paraha. Okay. So, synonyms, it is repeating or should I just repeat? Repeating. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said. Varyam. Glorious. Esha. This. In Harinam Vakaran, there is a book by Shajiva Goswami. There is a sutra. Esha Sa Paro Vishnu Jane. It means that if there is a word Esha and after that there is Vishnu Jane, Ta is a Vishnu Jana, then the H will be removed. So we see that it takes so much effort to. There are four parts when you have a verse. There are four parts to it. First is you have to identify the letters. During those times, it was hard to even when palm leaves are written. It is hard to identify the letters. Second is pada vichedam. It is a verse. Then you have to break the verse. Then understand each meaning of the verse, and then understand the collective meaning of the verse. Prabhupada did all this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave almost 1 month class on first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we see that what Srila Prabhupada has done is just amazing. Pradyumna Prabhu, his great Pradyumna Prabhu was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He actually did a lot of this synonyms and all, and Srila Prabhupada used to have a lot of appreciation for Pradyumna Prabhu. We are very fortunate that we have these disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are still in this planet and teaching us the path of bhakti. I was realizing when I saw this Yesha Sa Paro Vishnu Jana. Te your. Prashna, questions,
question,
Kritaha,
Kritaha,
made by you, Lokahitam, beneficial for all men.
beneficial for all men.
Nripa, O King,
King,
Atmavit,
Atmavid,
transcendentalist,
transcendentalist,
Samataha,
Samataha,
approved,
approved,
Pumsam,
Pumsam,
of all men,
of all men,
Shrotavya Dishu,
Shrotavya Adishu,
in all kinds of hearing.
in all kinds of hearing.
Yaha,
Yaha,
what is
what is
Para,
Para,
the Supreme.
the Supreme.
Okay, translation. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, your question is glorious. Varyanesha te prashna, because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing. It is approved by all transcendentalists. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even the very question is so nice that is the best subject matter for hearing. Why Sri Prabhu says, the question should be in such a way that it stirs the thought in the heart of the audience. Simply by such questioning and hearing, one can achieve the highest perfection stage of life. Right? This mood of question answers is so important. You see, Bhagavatam is full of question answers. Bhagavad Gita is question answers. But questions should be asked in such a way that it helps the hearer, the inquirer, and the audience. Once a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada that how many, you are Jagat Guru, you know everything. So the reporter asked, how many windows are there in the Empire State Building? No point of asking such question. Srila Prabhupada answered that, how many drops of water are there in the mirage of a desert? What he was trying to say is that there's no drops. So basically he was saying that a guru knows what is needed for the disciple to be known. And whatever is inspired by the Paramatma, that is what guru knows. And that is what guru is supposed to know. Once a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada that, Swamiji, why do you have shaved heads? Shaved head. Then Srila Prabhupada said, why do you have shaved legs? It was completely like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? Where is this coming from? Srila Prabhupada understood like the embarrassment of the lady. And then he said, we prefer warm legs and cool head. Once someone asked Srila Prabhupada that why there are death rates so high in India. Srila Prabhupada said death rate is same everywhere, 100%. We see that sometimes people ask questions which has no, in Hindi we say ser pair. There is no head or tail, there is no connection. People just ask for the sake of asking. But we see from the life of Srila Prabhupada also, when he used to ask questions, it used to stir a mood of asking high purpose of life in the heart of the hearer. Alfred Ford Amrish Maharaj, he says that when I first met Srila Prabhupada in Dallas, everyone used to meet me and they used to flatter me because such a glorious lineage. But when Srila Prabhupada saw me, he said, where is Henry Ford? Where is Henry Ford? And he said, when he said this, I was shaken. I was realizing that the vulnerability of this material world. And then he took shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada was in France. And then Srila Prabhupada in France, he said, very poorly he said, Napoleon used to say, France is Napoleon, Napoleon is France. France is still here. Where is Napoleon? Where is Napoleon? So the question should be asked in such a way that it stirs the point of asking higher purpose of life. This is what Ishwar says. I mean, many times he says in the class, ask a question which will inspire others to think. To think. Not questions that has no value. Has no value. You see the story of Yudhishthira Maharaj in Yaksha, Prashna, such a famous pastime. Yudhishthira Maharaj loses his 4 brothers. And then he comes to the river bank. There he meets Yaksha. And then Yaksha said that if you are able to answer this question that I'm going to ask you, then all your brothers will be revived again. First question he asks is, who is more heavier than mountain? Yudhishthira says, mother's love. Then he says, who is faster than the wind? Yudhishthira says, the mind. Which is more than the grass on the earth. But what is one thing that is even more than the grass on the earth? Vishnu says the desires in the heart of a jiva. And finally he says, what is the most surprising thing in this world? And Vishnu says, all these questions makes us think. Then Vishnu says, ahani ahani bhutani gachantiya yamalayan sheshe stavaram icchanti kimascharya param. He says that ahani ahani bhutani, day after day, people are gachanti, are entering into the Yamalayam, in the abode of Yamaraj. Sheshe Stavaram. But Stavaram, who are remaining here, they are thinking, I will stay back. This all people will go. I will stay back. Vishnu says, this is the most astonishing thing, that people are still thinking like that. Kim Ascharya Ataparam. So this point is saying that the question and hearing, question and answers should be in such a way that it triggers the concept of asking the higher purpose of life. And that is what Parikshit Maharaj was asking. Parikshit Maharaj was similar question. What should one do at a time of death? And Shukadeva Goswami is saying then, Variya Neshate Prashna. What question? Good question. Go ahead. Simply by such questioning and hearing, one can achieve a highest perfectional stage of life. Because Lord Krishna is the original Supreme Person, any question about him is original and perfect. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the highest perfection of life is to achieve the transcendent loving service of Krishna. Right? Sometimes we think that, oh, this question is not getting answered. So what I'll do is, if the doubt is continuously lingering, then one leaves the movement. We have seen so many people. But when we serve in the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through his representatives, through Krishna, they reveal the answers in our heart. Once there was a guy called Deepak. He used to go to Gaurang Prabhu's classes every day. And whenever the session is 12. After ending the class, he used to have 4 or 5 questions. Just asking. So once Gaurang Prabhu asked him in the class, when he asked the question, he said, why don't you come to the Barsana eye camp? You're a doctor. You can come and help for 1 month. Deepak said, why not? So he came 1 month for the Barsana eye camp, volunteering. Then after that, when the session again happened in Mumbai, then the session got ended and everybody was looking at Deepak. Now I will ask a question. And then he was not asking. Then Gaurang Prabhu said, Deepak ji, ask some question. And Deepak said, I have no question. Everything is answered. Just by service, all the questions get answered by the inspiration of Krishna. Similarly, Madan Mohan Malviya, such a famous personality. He came to Bhaktivedanta Thakur, such a judge, fiery judge, lawyer. He had some question. Bhaktivedanta Thakur said that, I'm busy, you ask my disciples. He was such a popular guy in India. And then being humble, he went to disciples. Disciples said, we are cleaning the vessels, we have no time. Maybe you can assist us in cleaning the vessels, then after that we can talk. And he said, sure. And he, being a humble person, he came and he served by cleaning the pots. And then after the entire incident was over, they all came, sat together. And then the disciples asked, okay, so now we can discuss. What was your question? And then Mahavir said, it's answered. So here we see that when we serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, then that is the highest perfection of life. That is the highest perfection. And all the questions within our heart has a capacity to get answered by scriptures, by sadhu, by guru. But we need to have this mood of humbly serving. Yeah. Because question and answers about Krishna elevate one to the transcendental position, the questions of Maharaj Parikshit about Krishna philosophy are greatly glorified. Why? Because it was related to Krishna, not any random question. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to absorb his mind completely in Krishna. See, this is a nice point. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to absorb his mind completely in Krishna. And how did he do that? And such absorption can be effected simply by hearing about the non or uncommon activities of Krishna. So the way to achieve absorption in Krishna is by hearing. From ears, we hear and it enters our heart. And that's when the manana or absorption happens. And Parikshit Maharaj is the epitome for that, right? Tammo payatam pratiyantu vipra ganga cha devi tirtachitta vishe dijopasashta kuhakastakshakova dashatvalanga yata vishnu gatha. So Parikshit Maharaj is on the bank. He was hungry and thirsty, because of which he put the dead snake. But because of that, he got the curse. And now he's saying, I don't have any hunger or thirst. I just want to hear. He's saying that Dashatvalam Gayata Vishnugada, that let the Takshaka bite me. Dasna. Let the Takshak bite me, but please continue the glories of the Krishna's activities. So that we see that how just by hearing the glories, he was completely now absorbed. First, he was absorbed in eating and drinking. He wanted to eat something that time. But now he's saying, let it, that's passed away. Dijosh Prashita. The Prashita means to born of. By whom? Dijo, by the Brahmana. Takshakova. He gave rise to Takshak. But he said, it's okay, let him bite me, but please continue the glories of the pastimes of Krishna. Similarly, we see Kulashekar. He also says, right, when the pastimes of Ramayana was happening in front of him, rather when the pastimes of Ramayana was said in front of him, he was feeling like it is actually happening. And he was saying that I want to run to protect Sita. And then all were saying, no, 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 this is past. We are just saying the story. He said, no, 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 this is happening now. It's happening now. So absorbed just by hearing. And we see that who is the most famous personality who gave his or her life just by hearing the glories of Krishna? Rukmini Devi. And Rukmini Devi says that Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shenvatam Te. She used to just hear the stories or activities or glories of Krishna by Brahmana, and she gave her heart to Krishna. And she says, writes a letter to Krishna that you are a lion, don't make me get married to a jackal. Who was a jackal? Shishupal. They say Shutva, Gunan. Guna means quality. Shutva, Gunan. Shutva, Gunan, Bhuvana Sundar, Shenvatam Te, Nirvishya Karna Vivare, Tapong Tapam, Haroto Angatapam. It says that Shutva Gunan, just by hearing your qualities, what has happened is it has Bhuvana Sundara, you have such a beautiful face. Sundara Shrunvatamte. I'm hearing, just by hearing, she was able to appreciate the beautiful face of Krishna. That's right there. In Jaiva Dharma, it's a point mentioned by Babaji that there is Angi and Anga, a little bit technical. Angi and Anga. Tree is the Angi, and branches are the Angas. Body is the Angi, hands and legs are the Angas. Similarly, Jayavadharma says that beauty, there are 6 opulences of Krishna, right? Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya Shriya. Then it says Jnana Vairagya Vishayava, Shannam Bhava Gana. There are 6 opulences of Krishna. It says out of that, beauty is the Angi, and all other qualities or opulences are Angas of Krishna. Beauty is the main thing. And Rukmini Devi mentions in 2 verses, next 2 verses, first verse, this verse, and next verse. 3 times she mentions about the beauty of Lord. 3 times. Same thing. Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Srinvatamte Nirvishya Karna Vivare. The qualities are entering into the ears of my ear, opening of my ears. And then Haratongatapam, all the bodily heat that comes by Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik, everything is Hara, is getting destroyed just by hearing your glories and seeing your form. And then it says, again, Rupam. Rupam, Drisham, Drishamatam, Akhilartha, Labham. That now this hearing that is happening, by seeing your form, just by hearing I'm seeing your form, by that what is happening, I'm getting the highest benefit of having these eyes. Drisham, Drishamatam, Akhilartha, Labham. I've got all the desires fulfilled of the eyes just by seeing you. Acyuta Vishati. Acyuta Vishati. Chittam apatrapam. Someone will ask, this girl is so bold. Sharpava writes in the purport that 4 qualities Rukmini Devi showed in her letter. 4 qualities. She was courageous, she was bold, she was frank, and she was explicit. Explicit means she was explicitly saying what she wants. She was not implicit. Devotees are also like this. They are bold, courageous, frank. What is what? This is this. And 4th is they are explicit. They don't try to hide that, oh, Krishna, maybe I don't know. They're just very direct. So Rukmini Devi was direct. So someone will say, hey, she's too frank. And she says also, apatrapamme, shamelessly my mind is entering into the lotus feet of yours, O Krishna. So the power of hearing. It's already 7:39. Okay, we'll try to complete the purpose. So, for instance, in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the Lord, Krishna's appearance, disappearance, and activities, one can immediately return home back to Godhead and never come back to this miserable condition of material existence. It is very auspicious, therefore, to hear always about Krishna. So Maharaj Parikshit requested Shukadeva Goswami to narrate the activities of Krishna so that he could engage his mind in Krishna. Mananam happens by Shravanam. The activities of Krishna are not different from Krishna himself. As long as one is engaged in hearing such transcendental activities of Krishna, he remains aloof from the conditional life of material existence. Right? Some Samashita ye padapallava plavam mahat padam punya shumurare bhavam buddhivats padam param padam yad padam natesham. One can cross over the ocean of material existence when one has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then that same material existence looks like a footprint of a calf. The topics of Lord Krishna are so auspicious that they purify the speaker, the hearer, and inquirer. And one more person. Can you guess? Vaishnav said in the class during the quiz time. Speaker, hearer, inquirer, and commentator. So there was a quiz where 4 options were given. Speaker, hearer, inquirer, and 4th commentator. And then someone said it is commentator because in the verse it is only 3 things mentioned. Vaishnav says, hey, commentator also gets the benefit. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Last quiz. They are compared to the Ganges waters, which flow from the toe of Lord Krishna, Vamandev. Wherever the Ganges waters go, they purify the land and person who bathes in them. Similarly, Krishna Katha, or topics of Krishna, are so pure that wherever they are spoken, place, the hearer, the inquirer, the speaker, and all concerned becomes purified. That is the glory of hearing Krishna Katha and asking questions which can stir the thought in the hearts of Vaishnavas. So that's why Shukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj that Varyaneshate Prashna, that thank you for asking these questions because it is very, very beneficial to all kinds of people. And the answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing. That is approved by all transcendentalists. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving the opportunity. If anyone has any questions or reflections, you can. Maybe we have 3 minutes. Sorry, I don't know.
No, it's delayed.
Huh?
Delayed.
7:45, no?
No, delayed. 8 o'clock.
Oh, it's still 8 o'clock. 7:15 to 8 o'clock. Okay, so we can discuss. So here, maybe I'll speak for 5 minutes, then we'll open it up. So here he says this, that we are discussing about the lotus feet of the Lord. So there is a verse which I just discussed. Samashitaye padapallavam mahat padam purna shumarare bhavam buddhir vatsa param padam yad vipadam natesha. Similarly, there is another verse where the 4 Kumaras, as soon as they saw Lord Vishnu, right, there also the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Tasya ravinda nayanasya padaravinda tinjal kamisha tulasi makaranda vayu antargata vivarena chakara tesham sanshobhamakshrajusham apichitta tanmo. So there also we see the 4 Kumaras are getting a feeling. They were from Brahmavadas, Brahmajyoti and all this. But what, as soon as they saw Lord Vishnu's lotus feet and they got the aroma of the Lord's lotus feet mixed with tulasi. Main was lotus feet mixed with tulasi, cherry on the cake. Sanshubham. Agitation happened in the nostrils. And Chittam. There also the word Chittam is there. Rukmini Devi's pastime also Chittam is there. Parishit Maharaj. Tammopayatam pratyantu vipa. There also Chittam is there. The mind is the most hard thing to control, and that mind can be absorbed in Krishna by Harikatha. This is what this section is saying, the earlier section of Parishit Maharaj. This is my favorite line of this entire purport, is this, that Maharaj Parishit wanted to absorb his mind completely in Krishna, and such absorption can be effected simply by hearing about the uncommon activities of Krishna. So, Mananam, because first Shravanam starts. From Shravanam, Mananam starts. Where Mananam, you start to absorb. From Mananam, Nididhyasanam happens. where we are applying what we have heard and also what we have contemplated on, what we have reflected on. We start to apply. And with Nididhyasanam, we also need to have Bandhanam, where we are in the prayerful mood that Krishna can give us the strength of whatever we have heard, whatever we have meditated on, and whatever we had applied. Krishna can give us the strength to be able to apply on whatever we have meditated on and heard. And that is what Rukmini Devi was doing. Rukmini Devi just heard what the glories of Krishna, and just by doing that, her heart and her mind, chittam, apatrapam mein, shamelessly she said, it entered into at the lotus feet of the Lord. In the next verse, Rukmini Devi is saying that in any family, they see certain things in husband. Rupa, again Rupa is mentioned. Rupa, strength, virya, then what else is seen? Character. And then she's saying that any sane lady, any lady coming from a good family will not agree to such a proposal as yours, O Krishna. The way Krishna was, then Rukmini Devi was thinking that the way I'm writing this letter, Krishna will think that I thought she'll be Sita, but she's acting like a Gita. Like basically, she would be a simple person, but she's like, looks like after coming into my house, she will only rule the kingdom instead of me ruling the kingdom. So then Rukmini Devi says, Narsimha. She says, you are Narsimha. You are the controller, so don't worry. I just want to come and serve you. I just want to come and serve you. Don't worry that I'll take over the place and all. I just want to serve you. Krishna is known as Spec, I mean the acronym Spec. He's the source of all. He's the ultimate source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samvita. When we hear, Krishna gives us the intelligence, and then slowly the doubts gets cleared. So he's the source of all. Proprietor, P. He's a proprietor. He owns everything. He owns everything. Enjoyer. He's a supreme enjoyer. And Mother Sri Rukmini Devi wanted to do that only. She just wanted to serve Krishna and have him enjoy all the opulences. And finally, see, she is the ultimate. Krishna is the ultimate controller. And that's why Rukmini Devi, gopis, all the gopas, they get attracted to Krishna beauty because it is the Angi of the Lord. That's why everyone gets attracted. In fact, the four qualities it's mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the four qualities which sets aside Krishna from all his amshas, from Lord Shiva and from Lord Brahma. But the four special qualities that Krishna has is Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Prema Madhuri, and Rupa Madhuri. So the Rupa of Krishna, the form of Krishna, the beauty of Krishna, that's why he's known as all attractive, is glorified in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam again and again. So just by hearing and just by having proper question and answer mood, one can take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. And that is why this purport is so important. I'll just read this small section again. Last paragraph. Last part. The topics of Lord Krishna are so auspicious that they purify the speaker, the hearer, and the inquirer. They are compared to the Ganges water which flow from the toe of Lord Krishna. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita which says, or in Mahatmya, Gita Mahatmya, it says that the Ganges water has a capacity to purify all the people just by taking bath. Why? Because it has come from the toe of Lord Vishnu. How it came? Vamana pierced the material world, right? When the piercing happened, then the Virja river entered the material world, and then it went into the Kamandalu of Lord Brahma because it was such a huge force. Lord Brahma took in his Kamandalu, and then a personality came. I forgot his name. Bhagirath. He prayed, and then Ganges came down from Brahmaji's Kamandalu. But then it was such a huge force that Lord Shiva took it and then it slowed down the flow. So it says that the Ganges came from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, has a capacity to purify entire human world. So what to speak about the words which are spoken from the lotus mouth of Krishna, what effect it can do in the hearts of all the people who submissively are hearing the topics of Krishna. And that's why this comparison with Ganges water is done, because Ganges water can purify the land, can purify the people, and but the topics of Krishna, spoken about Krishna, can purify the hearts. Once, forgot the name of the devotee who does parikrama in India, in Vrindavan, who takes people, Dinabandhu Prabhu. So he was taking parikrama of ISKCON Chowpatty to various places. And when he was doing that, there was a Yamuna river and Ganga river. So he said that Ganga river can remove all the sins that you all have accumulated, and that time people are entering into the Yamuna river. And then he said, but Yamuna river can remove all the pious credits also and sins also. So people started coming out because Punarati Jananam, Puritimanam, that the devotional service brings us to the level of akarma. He removes all the pious and impious in the hearts, or whatever we have, prarabdha karma, whatever we have taken. It destroys everything and takes us at the shelter of Krishna. That is the power of paraphernalia or anything which is related to Krishna. That's why at the end of entire canto, Parishit Maharaj is asking this important question to Krishna or Shukadeva Goswami. And why Shukadeva Goswami? Because Shukadeva Goswami epitomizes purity, and Parishit Maharaj epitomizes curiosity. He had the curiosity nature, and Vedvyas, who wrote this, epitomizes maturity. He wrote this entire Srimad Bhagavatam at the mature stage. And Parishit Maharaj had curiosity. And our Shukadeva Goswami was, people didn't even understand who is this guy, he's little madman or something. That's why sometimes we can't recognize someone who is at that stature. Sometimes we can't recognize them. But as soon as he went into assembly, Pushanaka Rishis and everyone, sages like Vedvyas, they knew that what is the power of this Shukadeva Goswami. Sometimes people will be walking by, but we don't know at what stature they are in. But when we have developed that understanding, prema janjana chakshu, when we start developing the love, our eyes are filled with devotion, then we can identify the personalities and their stature. So as soon as Shukadeva Goswami entered the arena, everybody knew he's a great Pandit. He's something special. And that's why Parikshit Maharaj took this opportunity to ask questions to Shukadeva Goswami. So since it's 7:52, we'll pause here. We'll see if any more discussions happen, but before that, just open it up. If anyone wants to share anything, any reflections, or whatever you have heard in last 1 week that you want to share, yeah. And also online, if anyone wants to say, just take it ahead so that I can hear. Okay, and yeah. So online and in person.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for giving such a nectarian class. I liked your examples of Rukmini Devi, that how simply by hearing. Uh, I don't know where she had, maybe the people from, how did she
One
hear?
Brahmana used to come there at home, and
Okay.
if I'm not wrong,
Okay.
and he used to speak about the glories of Krishna, activities of Krishna, and by hearing that, she gave her heart, Chittam, to Krishna. And then from one of the Brahmanas, she sent a letter to Krishna saying that, please take me away from here. She gave the entire detailed explanation how you should kidnap me. So people get so attracted to the Bollywood and Hollywood stories and all. But the first such incident actually happened in this Dwarka. And that's why devotees, they feel so much joy in hearing the uncommon activities. This is uncommon activity. Someone kidnapping a girl, young girl. Uncommon activity, but they feel joy because this is all transcendental. Divya. Divya.
Yeah, so I like that simply by hearing attentively with eagerness, her heart got transformed, and maybe she felt absorption, just like here Parikshit Maharaj, although he's going to die in 7 days, but he doesn't care, as you mentioned in the verse. So similarly, we all also going to die in some way. So, so by listening attentively, we can be absorbed so much so that whenever death comes, we maybe inevitably will remember Krishna because of that absorption.
Yeah.
I really very good examples.
Thank you. Sometimes we take shelter of some motivational speaker and all that,
Yeah.
which is very temporary. I was hearing yesterday, I was surprised. I hope that data is correct. It is said about all the professionals. You know who has the highest suicide rate? The psychiatrist. Imagine they are trying to help others, but they have the highest highest suicide rate. But we never see stories like someone committing suicide and all that. Right? In Bhagavatam. We should take shelter of Bhagavatam because that is the highest motivation because they will take us from the three modes of nature. They will take us out from the three modes of nature. That capacity Bhagavatam has. Motivational speakers can maybe bring us to the level of mode of goodness. But Bhagavatam can take us to the level of Shuddha Sattva. Rukmini Devi was completely enamored by Krishna. Just by hearing, she was appreciating the form of the Lord. That is very rare to see. By hearing, one can appreciate the form. One can appreciate the activities because they have not seen. But that's the power of hearing Krishna Katha. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone wants to add anything in the online?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I really like the class, Prabhu. You laid emphasis on how good questions will bring out good answers from the right person, because the Tattva Darshi already has all the answers, and only a good question can actually bring out the answer that everybody's looking for. So we see in the CC how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to be coaxed multiple times. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coaxed multiple times to get the answer out. So that was very nice, bro. I also wanted to share a little bit about the verse that you were mentioning, 10:52-37, Shrunvata Gunan Bhuvasun. That verse is actually the first transcendental love letter that was sent.
Yeah.
And the acharyas comment that the first verse is there, Shrutva Gunan. You were saying is the good qualities, but actually acharyas say that it's Shrutva Agunan. So she started liking Krishna because of all the agunan, like all the activities of stealing and all of the activities of lying. So it's agunan. So all the bad qualities of Krishna are what attracted her. And she says Bhuvana Sundara, which is like Mr. World, like the most Bhuvana Sundara, the most attractive person in the entire world. We give this Mr. World title, right, Prabhu? So that was like the first time somebody gave the Mr. World title, and that was given to Krishna. And the last line of that verse is Twai Achyuta. So also your name, bro. Uh, so here the Acharya say that Krishna wanted to ask, why should I come? Like, why you're just sending me a letter and I have not met you? Why should I come? So, and then the last line says Twai Achyuta, because Chuta means giving up. Krishna is Achyuta because he does not give anybody up. And that was the reason. So that's the reason why the specific word Achyuta is used there, because Rukmini Devi is kind of manipulating Krishna and saying, "You're Achyuta. If you don't come for me, you will be called Chuta. So to keep your name and to keep your promise as Achyuta, that's why you should come and kidnap me, or from the marriage ceremony." So yes, bro. Thank you for sharing that verse, bro. It's very nice.
Very nice. Thank you, Vishal Prabhu. Yes, that whenever I think about Achyuta, I remember that picture. You might have seen person in the water in the ocean, putting his hands up, and then Krishna on the Garuda. You know, he's trying to give his hand. Because Krishna never gives up. Krishna never gives up. Even if we want to give up on Krishna, Krishna never gives up. And that mentioned the point that you mentioned, Shrutva Gunan. I was remembering there's a sutra in Harinamamrita Vyakaran. It says, Tishavatara Ekatmako Militva Trivikrama. It says that when two comes together, it can be said ah. So Gunan or Gunan, it will still mean the same because of the way the structure of the verses. Anyways, yeah, thank you, Vishal Prabhu, for mentioning that point. That Krishna actually never gives up on the devotee. Yeah. In fact, Mother Yashoda gave up that I'm done. I cannot handle now. When she was trying to bind Krishna. But then Krishna gave his one, two step, we say, right? It was by two finger shot. So one finger Madheshwara tried, and second was the second mercy of the Lord. So yeah, thank you very much for patiently listening, and thank you for giving the opportunity. And congratulations for completing the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto is considered as a lotus feet of the Lord. Second canto also. First two cantos are considered lotus feet. So thank you.
Thank you. Is this Chaitanya Prabhu ki jai?
Jai.
Correct. So what are we supposed to do here? Thank you, Konar Prabhu. Thank you, Satvat Prabhu, for joining. Hare Krishna.